talk about back pain today and muscles that are tight for two different reasons, and you want to do different things depending on why your muscles are tight. So some people have back pain because their back muscles are overstretched and taut. Some people have back pain because their muscles are contracted and too short. So two different body types that I see a lot with back pain. First, person with the flat back. So if you have a flat back and it feels like your glutes are tucked under, that will be different than if you are a sway back where the muscles here are shorter and tighter. So let's go first into the flat back. So the person with the flat back, pelvis is tipping posteriorly. The hamstrings will be tight, pulling the pelvis down in the back. The back muscles are overstretched and you've lost your natural curve. So you don't stretch the back muscles, but you want to stretch the hamstrings. The other thing that happens in the front of the body with the person with a flatter back is that as the pelvis tips posteriorly, it is overstretching the hip flexors. So you don't want to stretch the hip flexors. More than likely, that is not always the same with everybody, but more than likely your hip flexors are already overstretched. Then what happens in the middle area of the front of the body is that the rib cage and the top of the pelvic bones are pulled closer together, so these muscles will probably be tighter and stronger. What does the person with the flat back do to relieve their back pain? It is not to stretch these muscles. This will just create more room for these muscles to be more overstretched and for your pelvis to tip even further back, curling your spine. So you do want to release your hamstrings. One of my favorite tools for that is the foam roller. So I want you to just sit on your foam roller, find the very bottom of your hip joints and the top of your hamstrings. So once you have that bolster just in front of your sit bones, I want you to very gently just move backwards and forwards a little bit, massaging the attachment site of your hamstrings. Spend some time here, get comfortable. You are doing self-massage for your back pain. And then tip to the side, and then tip to the other side. Now you're sifting through the hamstrings and the hamstring attachments from a different angle, which will help break up any scar tissue and adhesions in the muscle, in the tendons, and it will just help release your hamstrings so that they're not pulling your pelvis down. Then you can come up further, go to the side, come back, go to the side. Just spend some time doing this. You can come down further into the hamstrings. You can cross one leg over the other to get more weight if you need that. But if your hamstrings are already tight enough so that you're feeling some discomfort, just relax, focus on your breath, bring your mind inside of your body, those muscles release. They will if you don't overstimulate them. But keep a little bit of pressure on and they'll fatigue and let go. So after you have done both hamstrings, I recommend getting an exercise ball, and to open up the abdominal area, you can just lie on your exercise ball and stretch those abdominals out. It feels great. Just relax. What I always question when someone has back pain and they're going to physical therapy, almost always it seems like the first recommendation is doing the dead bug. But with the flat back, your abdominals tend to be very tight, so it just makes sense that if you're already curling forward, that strengthening this area is going to pull you even more forward. So I wouldn't do that. So that is the flat back. That's my recommendation for the flat back.